The common sentiment that many people resonate with on the channel and just in general when it comes to film fans is the dearth of eternal engaging love stories. Those that we grew up with, those that felt like a warm hug, and even if not familiar, its core emotion and the dynamic that the characters shared, it was so organic to the point that we often revisit them again and again. While I myself have been critical of Telugu cinema and its portrayal of romantic relationships in its commercial space, the only industry that really is consistently producing storylines that are heartfelt, poetic, and one for the ages is coming from Telugu cinema itself. Whether it be Shekhar Kamala's love story, the timeless Shyam Singha Roy, or the inventive Ante Sundaraniki, I've been fascinated by the difference in pitch of their storylines, yet the universal language of love and how beautifully these stories have been fleshed out. When everyone recommended me the recently released Sita Ramam, I went in with a completely fresh slate of wanting to be surprised and transported to the world from the 60s to the 80s and a romance of star-crossed lovers that perseveres despite religious conflict and war. What a beautiful thing it is about our country for me, a boy who comes from Jammu and Kashmir, to review a Telugu film that stars a Malayalam and Maharashtrian as the lead pair. The film focuses on an orphan boy, Ram, played by Dulquer Salmaan, who is in the army and gets the love of the nation through letters for the bravery showcased on the field. When he stumbles upon a letter written by a girl named Seetha, he can't help himself but be absolutely invested in her keen interest and familiarity with Ram. How the two characters meet one another, leading to an unbreakable bond, and how years later Rashmika's character Afreen acts as a link between the both of them. How, why, and what it is regarding is basically what the film explores. Here's me telling you the good and bad aspects of the film so that you guys can ultimately decide whether to watch it in theaters or not. The underwhelming aspects: meandering first half and setup. The one thing that this film really demands from the audience is patience, and I think that's slowly becoming more of a task for creators to demand from the audience. Is it just me, or is the window of absolute engagement from the audience getting smaller and smaller, wanting everything so quick and so conveniently that creators have to worry about their long running time? The film does take time to go in full gear, especially shaping up beautifully in the second half as the relationship between both Ram and Sita gets explored. And what people have been most critical of is the meandering first half that takes time to get to the point. What you'll realize in retrospect, however, is that the setup with Rashmika's character is so essential to flesh out the reality of the dynamics of all the principal characters. So while one would think, why is Rashmika's sentiment towards India being focused upon so much, why she hurls Pakistan Zindabad as her introduction, which by the way, any Hindi actor would get blasted for because people love to post things out of context on social media just to boycott their films, the comedic sequences with Murli Sharma and Kishore, the context of perfect photographs being published in newspapers, or flashes of Ram on a mission, that in all fairness could have been edited better from a staging and action point of view. But it shapes up beautifully in the second half to provide insight of exactly why such an elaborate setup was needed. My only call for you, if you take the plunge of watching this film, is to be patient with it in its first half, as it beautifully ties in several elements that were unassumingly showcased. The good: production design and visuals. It is absolutely insane that this film has been made on a budget of 30 crores, because the frames of this film are nothing short of a painting. Each set piece between Ram and Sita is enhanced by the environment in which they are placed. So whether it be a thin sheet or a curtain that separates them as they watch a film, a room that is covered with mirrors as Ram tries to capture her beauty with a photo, or just the way the song Karunan Kalyanam is captured so beautifully, it really is a testament to the ability of the creators behind the camera on how they have pulled the resources to manage this on a shoestring budget. I say shoestring because 30 crores, trust me, in the current dynamic is shoestring. I guess also it's a clear indicator of the odd nature with which stars often take up more than half of the production cost as their fees, and when that is removed from the equation, how a production simply benefits from leaving no stone unturned when it comes to the technical aspects of the film. Cinematographers P.S. Vinod, Divakar Mani and Shreyas Krishna really have done a spectacular job. The cast. You know, when you talk about talents from all over the country getting together for a project, Sita Ramam is a prime example of the boundaries blurring, where it's not just talent from within the state but from all over. Every single element from the ensemble cast, irrespective of their running time, really have contributed beautifully to the film. You have Murli Sharma as the manager of the Palace Turned School, Sunil as a hilarious TC as Ram is finding Sita and her whereabouts, Vanilla Kishore as a spot-on theatre junkie, slightly annoyed of Ram's presence but bearing with the side of a man, of course, head over heels for this woman. Tarun Bhaskar, Jishu Sen Gupta, Prakash Raj, Gautam Menon all have contributed brilliantly to the storyline. It's almost a dream to see so many talents together. I have to say, for the characters in the supporting cast that have really a meaty role, Rashmika does a fair job acting as a link between the couple years later, but it is Samant as Brigadier Vishnu Sharma that really leaves a lasting impression. The fickle nature of his loyalties, the animosity he has with Ram's natural ability and acumen, it all accounts for a brilliant climax that makes us understand several of the characters and their motivations. The palpable chemistry. The essential component for a story like Sita Ramam to work is that the lead pair really have infectious, natural and palpable chemistry. A core emotion so strong that it makes you root for their union eventually, and I have to say that both Dulquer Salmaan and Mrunal Thakur have done an exceptional job in this film. I have to say that Mrunal Thakur looks like an absolute dream, by the way, making me think that no wonder Ram is so hellbent in meeting this woman. Anyone would be drawn to wanting to know why a girl so beautiful is drawn to his life and every single detail in it. A special mention has to be given to Chinmay Sripada, who has done the dubbing for Mrunal's character, and it's some of the most seamless dubbing I have seen for any actor who does not speak the native language. Dulquer really does shine in communicating his longing for her, his clear conscience really standing out, as his loyalty towards his nation is his top priority throughout the screenplay. Mrunal, however, shines for me. Her helplessness in the possibility of losing Ram, her difficulty of circumstances that makes this story of star-crossed lovers, you need a capable actor like Mrunal to communicate that, and she does so very effectively. In an age where we have become more pessimistic and dismiss anything slightly romantic as cheesy or cringe to be ironic and relatable on social media, we've forgotten the beauty that comes with the genre of romance in theatres, the poetry, the angst, the longing for one another that we once saw in Veer Zara. It's something that we grew up with. And there's something still so strong of how two souls can connect despite the difficult circumstances around them. Sita Ramam, with an adept quality, integrates several elements of religious conflict, extremism and war, so much so that it never deviates from Ram and Sita's romantic track. And credit has to be given to Hanu Raghupudi's direction to steer the ship in the right direction, despite the several elements that need to be integrated in the story. I know this may be a popular opinion, but the concept of lovers destined to reunite despite the external circumstances around them, I imagine Radhe Shyam to be this rather than what it became. What it was from a production standpoint was beautiful. It was absolutely inept, however, from an emotional standpoint, and this is where Sita Ramam really shines, in making you believe once again that romance is not really dead in Indian cinema. And that was the video, guys. Write down in the comments below what you thought about the movie. Please don't forget to follow me on Instagram, the handle is right in front of you. Follow me at JammyPants4. Also, please support us by smashing the like button and subscribing to our channel for weekly content ahead. Thank you for watching.